Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video today about why I believe that the Star Wars sequels are very much alike to the Jurassic World trilogy. The reason that I think this is because there's just a lot of things that are very similar, and I'll get into those. But first, let me give you a little history on both of them for me. So, I've always been a huge Star Wars fan, and I've always liked, I've always leaned more towards the prequels a little bit, but I do like the original trilogy, and we'll get into the sequels in a minute. But I do prefer the prequels. The Phantom Menace is honestly my favorite. It's because it's the one that I grew up with, and I could probably, honestly, I could probably quote. I'll go ahead and tell you, I could probably quote the first 7 movies word for word. And now that I'm thinking about it, that could mean something. I'll get to that in a minute. In Jurassic Park, I've always been a huge Jurassic Park fan. I like all the movies. The Lost World was honestly probably my favorite, and that's because I've always been a huge fan of Jeff Goldblum, and I grew up with that movie too. And I grew up with the first one and the third one, and I really like the third one. I think the third Jurassic Park is probably an epic sci-fi 30 or 90-minute movie. And I think if it wasn't labeled Jurassic Park 3, people would like the movie a lot more, but because it's labeled Jurassic Park 3, I feel like that people associate it with the series, and it really has nothing to do with the series. But yeah. In the Jurassic World trilogy, we'll get to in a second, but I just want you to know that I've been a huge fan of both of these series. I play all the Star Wars games. Uh, like, I can show you here. Hold up. Like, I play all the Star Wars games. Like, I have them all. I just beat Jedi Survivor. Um, and yeah. In Jurassic Park, like, I've even played the Jurassic Park games. Even played the Telltale Jurassic Park the game. I really enjoyed that. I actually want to play it again here pretty soon. Lego Jurassic World is probably my favorite Lego game, next to Lego Star Wars, which just shows that it's two of my favorite series. But let me set us down here, and then we'll get to the big video. So I wanted to make a video about this, even though I know my channel is not very active. But this is just something that I feel like people need to hear, because I don't know if a lot of people realize it. I'm sure there are people that do, but I just got out of the shower, so my hair is wet. But I just feel like that. Now, where should I start this? Okay. So both of these series are coming off of a blockbuster saga, and they're for the new generation. Both movies came out in 2015 at peak movie times. Jurassic World in December, or sorry, gosh, Jurassic World in the summer. Was it June? I think it was June. And then The Force Awakens came out in December, right before Christmas. And that's like the two peak movie times, is the summer and Christmas. And they were both marketed very well, and I don't feel like, I could be wrong, but let me know if you feel the same way. But I don't feel like movies are marketed as well as they used to. Like there was a time where if you went to like Hot Topic or Walmart or Target or any store like that, like you were gonna find the Force Awakens shirts and Force Awakens merchandise. I remember when I used to live in Ohio and they had a Disney store, and I know that's Disney's first big Star Wars movie, but I got a whole bunch of stuff. Like I got the Force Awakens figures, all that stuff before I even seen the movie. And I remember going to Hot Topic and seeing all the Jurassic World stuff. And I feel like that um, ever since, really, I can't, the three big movies that stick out to me as a marketing merchandise, in my lifetime as like an adult, were The Force Awakens, Jurassic World, and Suicide Squad, the 2016 version. I don't feel like that they do much for movies like that anymore. Like, a lot of movies, people simply don't know they're coming out because of bad marketing, I think. But anyway, that could be another video. But yeah. Both of those movies came out in 2015, and they both are really copy and paste of the originals. Like Jurassic World is very similar to Jurassic Park, wherein this guy wants to make a lot of money, and doesn't really think about the risks. He's good at heart. Talking about Masrani and John Hammond. And then there's another guy, kind of a bigger guy, who wants to mess everything up. Dennis Nedry and Vincent D'Onofrio's character. And then you have like the gruff, main character, like Dr. Grant and Owen Grady. You got kids. You got a dinosaur getting loose. And then the beginning's like this big, whoa, look at this place. Those movies are similar like that. And I feel like they did the job. I feel like Jurassic World did a good job. I thought it was a very good movie. I saw it twice in theaters, and just saw it recently again in theaters a year or two ago when they re-released it because nothing was coming out for COVID. Definitely my favorite in the Jurassic World trilogy. Well, actually, that's not true, but it's definitely a good one. And then with The Force Awakens, it's pretty much just a copy and paste of A New Hope. There's differences, but it's really the same. And it ends with the main villain surviving, and he's going to be there for the next movie. And you have these characters, and they form a camaraderie. You have kind of the pilot, like with Han Solo and Poe. You have kind of Finn and Rey, who are like a lot like Luke and Leia, because in the beginning, Luke and Leia were into each other, and I think Finn really liked Rey. I don't know if Rey, well, I don't know. It's up for debate if Rey liked Finn. I think she did. So I think that's very similar. And there's like the destroying the big space station at the end. And I think that was meant to be there in Force Awakens. I know a lot of people say they didn't have an idea, so they just did it. I think they did that on purpose, because Han's line in the movie where he's like, oh, there's got to be a way to blow it up. And I enjoyed Force Awakens a lot. Like, I feel like it's a top tier Star Wars movie. There's some fun parts in it, and it's extremely fast paced. Same with Jurassic World. They're both extremely fast paced. They're both kind of rehashes of of the original story, um, and lots of callbacks to the originals in those movies. And they performed very, very, very well at the box office, and they were marketed both extremely well, and I think were all around loved by people. I think both movies sit in the top 10 of highest grossing movies of all time. I could be wrong with that. I'm about 90% certain that they're both in the top 10. Unless something like, I don't know if Barbie's kicked one of them out now or not, but um, I'll have to look into that. Let me know if you know down below. Anyway, and then I feel like the directors of each movie was headed in the right direction for a trilogy. But then when the second one came around, they went with a new director, and I think that really hurt both franchises. Even though I know the writer for Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom was the same guy who directed the first movie, I feel like there was just something else that was different because if we're starting with Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, if we compare that to The Last Jedi, which The Last Jedi was directed by Rian Johnson and written by him, yeah, I just don't know what to say about it. They're both probably some of the most cinematic, beautiful movies in the trilogy. You know, the acting's very good, but the story leaves a lot to be desired. Like, I feel like both stories kind of messed up the whole continuity of both franchises. For The Last Jedi, they killed off Luke in a really crazy way, and it really did not sit well with me and still doesn't. And there was a lot of things in the movie, like Leia surviving in space and like floating back. That kind of looks stupid. Even though I don't doubt that she could do that, but they made it look really dumb. And both movies had like this part of the movie that we didn't really care about. Like The Last Jedi had the whole Canto Bite scene. Didn't need to be there. And then Fallen Kingdom had the whole dinosaur auction. Kind of really felt out of place. And the whole part with the little girl at the house, it was just so different. Same with The Last Jedi with, like, you know, I understand why Rose blocked Finn, but I don't feel like that would sit well with, like, people in charge. And then the whole Kylo Ren Luke battle, it was cool, but they're just gonna kill Luke just because he overexerted himself or something. I don't know. You know, I like the movie more now than I did when I first saw it, but I don't. It's my least favorite Star Wars movie of all time. And I feel like there was way too much comedy in it. Like, you did not need to have that much comedy, because like, you couldn't take the movie seriously. Like, I know Star Wars has comedy, but that was too much. Like, I knew it was going to be bad with comedic relief at the beginning when Poe's like, General Hugs, oh, that's fine, I'll hold. I'm like, come on. And I know a lot of YouTubers, like Tyrone Magnus, I follow him a lot. He did not like that part of those movies at all. But Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, I feel like when they destroyed the Isla Nublar, that's big. And did they think about that? And then they fail. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I was going to say something about Isla Sorna, but we'll get to that when we get to the third part. But, you know, the dinosaurs were cool, and there were cool moments. For, like, and I'll go back to The Last Jedi. A cool moment was when, what was her name? Oh, the purple hair, the one that was in Jurassic Park. She was in The Last Jedi. She was like, you thought she was bad, then it turned out she had orders from Leia. Admiral Dodonna, was that her name? Um, when she like sacrificed herself and went light speed on the First Order ships, that was cool. And the Rey and Kylo Ren battle against the guards, that was cool looking. Even though I know like one of the guards had to mess up his own swing because Rey was behind or something. You have to look that up. It's funny. And just like in Fallen Kingdom, it's cool when they're running away from the volcano and the little gyrospheres, and they fall into the water, and all the dinosaurs are coming. And I liked how they introduced a bunch of new dinosaurs in the movie, but it didn't feel like, it felt like they were destroying like what the movies were built on. Killing off Luke, destroying Isla Nublar. Like, you basically are not going to have much left. And both movies did not do that well. Like, they did well, but severely beneath the first ones. And they did not have good reviews. And I think overall, people will say these two are the worst in the series. They're not the most hated, but I believe that they are the least favorite overall. Like, if you were to put like a poll for everybody who's seen the movie, those movies are going to be the highest on least liked. And I agree with that. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is my least favorite Jurassic Park movie. Well, I think the studios knew that those movies didn't do well, and they bring back the original director and I guess give them creative control. I don't know. Which I don't think anybody in Lucasfilm really has creative control other than you know who. But Rise of Skywalker was directed by J.J. Abrams and written by him. And as you'll see with both these movies, as is Jurassic World Dominion was directed by Colin Trevorrow again, these movies rely on nostalgia and fan service, because as in you'll see in Rise of Skywalker, they bring back the Emperor, which I was okay with in the way that they did it, because like it's pretty much proven, right, that he was a clone, right? It wasn't the actual Emperor. I mean, it was, but he was a clone. And in Jurassic World Dominion, you bring back the original cast. You bring back Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern. Which I think in Jurassic World Dominion it helps, but I feel like in Rise of Skywalker the nostalgia hurts. Even though I'll stand by today that I think Rise of Skywalker and Jurassic World Dominion are very good movies. I enjoy them. I don't enjoy them as much as like the originals. But like they're up there. They're way better to me than the number 2s in each. Because I find Rise of Skywalker to be a lot better than The Last Jedi, and I find Jurassic World Dominion to be a lot better than Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I feel like the directors of these movies got back in their seats and tried to correct what the previous movie had. Especially with the case of Rise of Skywalker, because like they pretty much have Luke come back as a ghost and say, I was wrong. How I acted in the last movie. He's basically saying, that was stupid what happened in the last movie. That's basically what it is. And they even put Rey back in her traditional clothing, which I've always found to be a little on the nose. But there was problems with the movie, like the whole Chewie part. How, why does Rey think that she's killed Chewie? If she could feel when Chewie got into space on Kijimi, how could she not feel that she didn't actually kill him? Also, the whole Force lightning scene is cringe to watch because, as Han Solo said, that's not how the Force works. Like, you can't just strain hard and have Force lightning come out. And just because you have Force lightning, even though I know she was related to Palpatine, but like, Force lightning isn't something that just Palpatines have. I mean, Dooku had it, and I mean, if you played any Star Wars game, you know. I mean, Starkiller used it. You can use it as Darth Revan and the Exile. Yeah. But I think that the story's a lot more fun. I find Rise of Skywalker to be very fast-paced. I like Poe's story a lot in it, but they backseated Finn bad. And that I don't understand. Because Finn was probably one of the best characters out of the first two movies, and they just pushed him to the back. I'll go ahead and say that Finn was probably the best character in The Force Awakens. 100%. Next to, well, Han Solo was good, but he had to be, you know. But Finn was like the best new character. And I think Rey did the best in The Last Jedi, but in this movie, I really like Poe's story. Like, he's hiding something. It did come out of nowhere. Like, wow, why now all of a sudden you're going to start questioning Poe about his past, you know? But I do think that I liked Kylo Ren's redemption. I wish he hadn't died. That was stupid. Because now there's no Skywalkers alive. And the whole Rey Skywalker thing, I feel like that she deserves it. You know, you can hate me for that if you want, but I feel like it's weird how she did it, but if anybody needs to take the Skywalker name, it has to be her. Now, I don't necessarily know if she had to, but I don't hate it. We'll see in this new movie, if they ever make it, what they do with that. Oh, and her parents, I don't think that was what was meant to happen in the first movie, but because of what was said in The Last Jedi, they had to make something up for this one. And then with Jurassic World Dominion, you know, the destruction of Isla Nublar, you can tell was impacting this movie. Why didn't they go with Isla Sorna? Like, and I feel like not using the Spinosaurus, which I don't know if there was like a reason why, but they could have easily have used the Spinosaurus, because the Spinosaurus, you know, Jurassic Park 3 was hated, but I think it's like the prequels, it's come around and a lot of people really like it now. At least I do, but I've always liked it. But yeah, like the whole Biosyn Island, I like the callbacks to the original with the nostalgia, with like the Dilophosaurus and the Barbasol Can and Dodgson and the original cast. I think the original cast steals the movie more from the current cast. I liked the girl, but I feel like that she didn't need to be there. The young girl, I forget her name. The clone girl. You know, if she finds out she's a clone of her mom or something like that. I did like the dinosaurs in the movie again, and I wish that they wouldn't backseat the T-Rex so bad. They backseated the T-Rex, and they backseated Blue. these movies are supposed to really be about blue, because they've made it clear that blue is the big part of these movies. And then she's at the very beginning and the very end. I know her kid's in it a lot. Excuse me. But, like, you should have done more. But it's similar to The Rise of Skywalker in that they rely on nostalgia. There's parts of the movie that didn't need to be there. The whole Malta part of Jurassic World Dominion, I feel like could have been cut from the movie. It didn't match with the rest of the movie at all. And in Rise of Skywalker, I really think that a lot of the middle part didn't have to be there. And I think in the end, the nostalgia, the movie seemed very rushed. And I liked in the end of Rise of Skywalker where like all the old Jedi talk to Rey, because I mean she's like literally the only hope. Like she's all there is. And that ending was crazy where she died and then Ben brought her back and then Ben died. Like, what? I was in the theater and I was shocked. I have to say. I wish Ben had survived. I wanted Rey to survive too, but I wish they both survived. And in Jurassic World Dominion, I was so happy that Alan and Ellie got together at the end, or at least I think they did, because good lord, after watching Jurassic Park 3 and seeing them, like, seeing all the awkward tension that there was, I'm finally glad to see that. But that was just a, to summarize, both first movies with Jurassic World and Force Awakens were marketed very well, made a whole bunch of money, were really just a copy and paste of original movies, and I think are really, really good. The new characters do well, and it's a great movie. Those are great movies. With the sequels, it really destroys a lot of the continuity and messes up a lot of things that people probably will get upset about, and hurts the saga, but are beautiful movies, acted very well, but just they don't mesh. And then the third ones, they both rely on nostalgia, and they bring back the original directors, and it works, but it also doesn't. And I believe that Rise of Skywalker and Jurassic World Dominion are the most severely hated, but I don't think they are the most. I feel like that if you find the person, they will hate Jurassic World Dominion and Rise of Skywalker with a deeper passion than the people who hate Last Jedi and Fallen Kingdom. I feel like the hate is stronger for these movies, but I feel like more people hate these movies, if that makes sense. So the hate is stronger for Jurassic World Dominion and Rise of Skywalker, but more people, I think, hate Fallen Kingdom and The Last Jedi, if that makes sense. If you have any questions, leave them down below. This is my first video that's this long, so bear with me if I, stumbled over my words or anything. But I hope y'all have a good day, and I'll try to make some more videos. I'm watching a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to review. I've been watching My Adventures with Superman. I've been watching 1923. I got to get back into Titans. Doom Patrol, Vikings Valhalla. I've got a number of movies I need to watch. I've also been playing Horizon 2 Forbidden West. I also have Final Fantasy 16, and I pre-ordered Starfield, the collector's edition. Well, not the collector's edition with the watch, but like, I guess the deluxe edition. It's like $100. I've got Alone in the Dark coming. I've got Assassin's Creed Mirage coming for next month, and what was the other one? Oh, Lies of P. Also got a number of games that I'm going to be playing soon, like Jurassic Park the game. I'm going to play that again here pretty soon, and I'll review it, and I might live stream it on my Xbox. My tag on Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, which you have to have the code for that, but my tag on Xbox and Nintendo, gosh, my tag on Xbox and PlayStation is N7Night78, Night with a K. So N7KNIGHT78. I'll be headed to Dragon Con at the end of the month. I might make a video on that depending on the success of this one. But I hope to make another video soon. Y'all have a good day, and I will see y'all later.